Okie dokie. El Kintaro.
Damn!
We are live.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. This is a record.
This is a record.
This is a record.
2 weeks in a row with audio from the very beginning.
Yeah, here's what it is. You keep taunting me, and I keep seeing these like horrible things about you doing like 60,000 days, and I pull up and do like 600 wireless networks in a day. So it's like, you know what? I just gotta bask in your greatness, my brother.
Today's episode totally not brought to you by Monster.
And Polar Springs refilled water from my tap.
This is not regular cola. This is super cola.
Ooh, super. Okay, so you've had successful things in the past. How do we get sponsored?
I don't know. We were just talking before the show, I guess, but before we went live, I did run a successful podcast for about 5 years. I did have some sponsors. Mainly it was just me reaching out to people who had cool businesses that I wanted to be part of. Small ones.
Nice.
Nothing major.
And applicable, right, to what your podcast was about?
Well, I don't know about that.
Money's money, right?
I think the biggest thing we ever did was we had like a logo banner underneath the ring, underneath the kickboxing ring, permanently installed.
Oh wow, that's pretty rad.
And that was kind of cool. So
I feel like that's like a really high bar to set, and then also like Dave Kennedy's flexes of like doing stuff for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Dave is Dave. So there's always the upper echelon of
the upper echelon, the highest level that you can get to.
I don't think we'll ever reach that point.
No, I don't think so either. But if I ever do, one thing I want to do is buy a sports arena and just put sports on it. It'll be called the Sports Arena.
You know what you should do is buy an arena and then have like DEFCON CTF in it, because it'd be like this massive stadium and like a bunch of guys on the keyboard. Yes, we understand.
80,000 viewers. Hey, if they can get it to do election recounts, I'm sure we could get it for a DEFCON CTF.
Right. So, yeah, it's exciting. Maybe more. All right, let's get into the show.
All right, let's get into this.
We have show notes this time.
Oh my gosh, so we're gonna have some structure.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we got some. I was gonna go change my shirt, and if it gets too annoying, let me know. I'll go change it. Tara forced me to wear it. Keep wearing it.
See, I like the floating head.
Plus, you get some of the background. Yes. You get to see the wires, like right here. I have wires that are coming through me.
See, it's proof that you're actually a bot. See, I've always known, or have kind of thought about you being as a bot. Now we know you are a bot.
I've been exposed.
Yes. You're just partially transparent. Oh, he's very transparent. He's so transparent. If he had his shirt off, you could see right through him. That's how transparent. All right, what have you been up to?
Oh man,
it's been a week.
Okay, so this last week I did a bunch of war walking. I went war running. I went war mountain biking, and I didn't collect shit. All in all, I think I got about 5,000 networks. So there was a wildfire that broke out not too far from me. Right. And I started seeing some of the planes and stuff because we have a local firefighter airbase. And so loaded up the kids and we went up the mountain to go see if we could see where the fire was at. And while I was up there, got about 1,000 networks from a bunch of people's cabins. So was able to at least cover some area that had never been covered before. But yeah, luckily there hasn't been any loss of structures or anything like that to that wildfire. Nice. So that stuff's sketchy. We had a really bad one a few years back that just devastated stuff. So Anyways, it's scary. Also, people, if you have drones, do not fly them in fire areas. Just
Don't
don't
fly
even
them in
fuck around with
disastrous
that.
areas. Period.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
For sure.
unless you're using it to like signal somebody,
Yeah.
or I know cases where they had to fly drones in the Himalayas to. They had like a group of hikers that got stuck on a cliff,
Yeah.
and they were sending off rations with the drone, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is cool. That is a neat use case for drones for sure.
Because the drone can actually land on the cliff where the chopper couldn't.
Yeah.
And the only way the chopper could get stuff to them was just kind of drop it and hope it will land on the edge.
Oh wow.
So,
That's some next level stuff.
right? So,
Yeah.
But turns out drones on high altitude are a whole different ball game because of the air being too thin.
Oh yeah.
So
Ask NASA about that.
Yeah.
They're learning some really interesting lessons.
Right. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was cool.
And what about you? Because all of a sudden I'm getting tweets and like retweets and stuff popping up, and it's like, okay, so he took kind of a week off and was taking it easy on me, gave me the middle finger, whatever. We'll let that ride, and then it's like, bam, punch me in the face.
Well, it's a new month, so I like to start the month out strong. So yeah, so I did a couple war walks. But this weekend, because the rain season here, so the weather is kind of like meh, and I'm not as addicted enough to go out in the rain yet. So
Still getting to that point.
And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this weekend. And then Pixel Bite, which is one of came out with Space Marshals 3 Chapter 2, which is one of my favorite games ever on the iPad.
Yeah.
On tablet. It's one of those two thumb shooter games. You walk around, the story devolves, and then you shoot bad guys with big guns and shit like that.
Nice.
But I ended up spending the whole weekend playing that. I finished chapter 2. Whenever it comes out, I'm like done in like a week. It's not too hard. But it's super. If you have never played Space Marshals, I highly suggest you do it because it's one of the most gorgeous games and fun games and quick games on. Because I'm not really committed to long story arcs of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played this game so much that the screen protector on my iPad has two distinct places where it's worn out where my thumbs are. Defeats the purpose of like having a screen protector. Like there's like this really nice clean plane and then like these two gigantic holes where my
yeah, I'll have to put that on my list. Do you have to play it on iPad or can you play it on iPhone?
I think you can play it. I don't know.
And what's the minimum iPad that you need for that? Because I think I've got like I think my iPad's 2 years old.
It will play. It will play fine. They have 3 versions of it. So Space Marshals 1 came out, then 2 came out, and 3 came out. They all follow the same story arc.
Yeah.
Like, you're a space marshal hunting down bad guys. But yeah, Space Marshal 1 came out, and then 2 took about a year and a half, I think, or 2 years even. Mm-hmm. And then 3 just came out like last year, and I'd be like, now they have like in-game updates, so they can add more chapters to it.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's a quick, like, those times when you want like only play for like 20 minutes, because it's like every chapter, like in the chapter there are multiple different smaller subsections, and each section is only like 20 minutes play time. So it's a quick and easy game. But you can go back and because it changes a lot and things like that. So I played that pretty much, and then I came in this week, started. I wrote a whole bunch of automate the boring stuff bash scripts because I was just like, I was typing out commands like, oh, it's getting boring. I'm gonna spend like 2 days scripting everything here. So, which is like weird because like even if I kept doing this stuff for this year, I don't think it will take 2 days total.
Yeah.
But I spent 2 days automating so instead of writing like a whole command on like a bunch of aliases on my profile file, and just like alias, I'm gonna get to the point where like I won't be able to use a Linux plain
command
distro
you are
because I've like
overwritten.
yeah, aliased everything. I'm like, I'll be sitting in front of a bare vanilla install of Raspberry, and I'm going like, I don't know this command.
You just need to get yourself an init script to initialize your distros.
Well, here's the thing. I wrote out all the aliases at the message of the day. So every time I log in, it shows me a list of the customized aliases that I have for my command.
I would need that so bad. I would forget too.
So every time I log in, it says, you get the message of the day. That message of the day for now is like me. It's like a cheat sheet for all the aliases and commands and shell scripts that I built. Because there's like, I wrote like 20 of them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember any of this. Because I was going through my .profile setup, and I was like, wait, I have this alias? I didn't even know this.
The thing I was typing 40 times over again.
Yes.
Now an alias.
So,
yeah, that's
anyways,
awesome.
So that was me this weekend.
Nice.
All right, let's get into the show then.
All right then.
10 minutes in. So Wi-Fi stuff. Happy Sidewalk Day, everybody!
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Even live
about
today,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Your side.
Yeah, I believe so. We've got some sidewalk stuff and the specs. Did you hear about all the specs? So it's supposed to be throttled to a maximum of 80 kilobits per second.
Oh yeah, no, I read that.
Yeah, and then also to a maximum of like 500 megabytes of transfer in a month period, allegedly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But it's interesting too because from my understanding, it was originally just going to be targeting like Bluetooth devices. But in order to achieve some of those throughput levels, like you could do it with Bluetooth, but the way they want to share the service to keep the devices up, it seems like it's very much going to be using Wi-Fi. So, yeah.
Wasn't it like also like 900 megahertz?
I don't think there's devices that have that yet, but that's going to be in the rollout plan for future devices that are going to have 900 megahertz. So, which is an interesting thing because right now there's some, I wouldn't say super popular, but medium popular IoT devices that are the LoRaWAN devices that I've been starting to track down and learn how to start scanning. So I'm wondering if maybe they're implementing LoRa. So that would be interesting to see if they're doing that. Because that's in that 900 megahertz. It's already established protocol. It has some encryption stuff built in. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Cool. Very.
Yeah, it's definitely going to add some SSIDs, I'm sure, if it's Wi-Fi that we're going to be able to see. Definitely some MAC addresses. And I'm definitely excited to check for full frame because they say it's supposed to be end-to-end encrypted and also anonymized. So we'll see how true that is.
I tweeted out earlier this week, and I was looking at some stuff, and then like BT in the UK, or British Telecom, has now a new Wi-Fi service for like small home offices.
Yeah.
And they call it unbreakable Wi-Fi or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's adorable. That's adorable. So cute.
Oh man.
All right, so I have a heartwarming Wi-Fi story. The Western Land Museum in West Virginia. Now you'll be thinking like, what the fuck has to do with Wi-Fi? Well, here's the thing. When COVID happened, the museum had to close down, right? But they used this time to add Wi-Fi to the museum. And you think about like, well, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Where? I mean, unless you go into like the boondocks or, you go into, I don't know, some nature preserve. It's really hard not to have Wi-Fi. But this is like a legitimate like museum that for the first time ever has now Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And I like the quote. We'll link it. We got to figure out how we're going to share these show notes. I mean, I can put them up on the YouTube when I upload it, but I'm always a week behind because I want people to come over here and watch the latest show.
Can we do just put them in the chat?
Yeah. Well, maybe later, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess we can link the article into the chat. But the quote is, Wi-Fi will help a lot because we can have one or two teams working in different parts of the museum, all feeding into the same basic software or servers. I mean, that's just like, oh, I remember when I rolled out my first Wi-Fi. You know, it's like I was like, oh. I was like, and good for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Washington Western Lands Museum. It's like this small thing in Ravenswood, West Virginia, I guess.
I don't even know where that is.
West Virginia.
Well, I know where that is, but I don't know where Ravenswood
is. Isn't that where John Denver's song is from? Or is it just Virginia?
No, I don't know. Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Mountains,
West Virginia. Yeah. Don't make me go get my guitar. It's like one of the 3 songs I can play. Kind of play.
See, like having Wi-Fi here at the museum, especially, is going to help us move basically from going no technology to whatever technology is available at the moment. See, that is adorable and cute, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it, what sort of plans they have.
So that means anybody in West Virginia, I need you to go out and wiggle this.
Or road trip.
Road trip, yeah. Well, that's gonna have to wait for another year or so before I get vaccinated. So.
Don't worry, we'll get you in. We'll get you vaccinated.
Yeah. So there's actually a vaccination tourism to the New York, because New York is like, if you show up in New York, we'll vaccinate you.
Yeah.
It's $5,000, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I like to get vaccinated. I'm not gonna spend $5,000 and 4 weeks to get vaccinated.
So what I'm hearing is Kintaro get GoFundMe vaccination fund.
I can actually buy a GPU for that price. You know that, right?
And then it will pay for itself in 90 days, and then you'll have the money to then go ahead and get vaccinated, and you'll have a GPU.
Yes. I was like. And then they had the audacity to interview some of the people, not the people who go there. I understand their needs, but like, there's this one guy. Apparently, he just started this thing, and he's like, I just want to be helpful for my fellow Japanese people who can't get vaccinated. And I'm like, no, you're not, because if you're there, you wouldn't be like charging them $5,000 for it. Just like, because the fucking vaccination is free. Why are you charging them $5,000 for it?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. So.
Well, crazy.
That's a lot of hot tubs. Yes, you're right. $5,000, I can actually have a real hot tub. I think. I can get rid of that above pool blow up hot tub that we plan to use for all our summer screens.
I had one other. If we're on good news still, one other good news thing that popped up today that got me super nostalgic. In my junk emails, I started getting requests for parties for like Black Hat and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
It is happening.
Yeah, this is crazy. I was like, oh, I guess there's actually gonna be something going on this year. So maybe
that's what you think.
Yeah,
TBD, we still have a couple. We still have a couple weeks out. You know,
it's still nice to see like that. You know, it's like gets me excited because I haven't had those feels for a long time. You know, it's been 2 years. So 2 years.
Oh, I feel you. There seems to be a little bit of that going on right now, where I'm getting some of the marketing materials too. It's like, come meet us at Black Hat. I'm like, really? I'm not, but. Anyway, so going into the main theme of today, custom rigs.
Custom rigs.
Right, and this is because I think somebody asked me on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I think you answered it. The question was, can you run it on a Raspberry Pi Zero?
Oh yeah. I was throwing some advice, and then
I think Free Brian 2020 asked whether or not we can run it on a Pi, if you can run Kismet on a Pi Zero.
Right.
So the short answer is yes. The long answer is kinda.
It depends. Yep.
Pi Zero will work for remote capture source, and yeah, you could run the server on it too, but it's gonna be really, really, really limited. Especially because you're gonna need more things, right? You're gonna need an adapter because Nexmon is okay at best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use Nexmon on my Raspberry Pi. I use Nexmon for bringing up an host APG, so local AP, so I can connect into my rig to do maintenance.
Right.
The other thing is, I mean, it's 2.4.
Right.
So,
yeah, you're getting 12 channels and that's it.
Yeah. Not even because you're hopping.
All right.
Right. So
you're getting one of 12 channels.
Yes,
over a period of time.
Right. Over a period of time.
Right.
And then you're going to need a way to feed GPS data into Kismet if you want it for wiggle points.
Well, and
you
it's only USB 2, right?
Right.
So then not only that, you're limited to 12 megabits per second on the entire bus. Plus, the sock on it is only like 900 megahertz.
Right.
So
yes,
but it only uses like 250 milliamps.
Right. Right. There's that. So, but at that level, you actually might be better off like using a bunch of ESP 8266s and just have 12 of them on each channel, collect the data, right? Timestamp it, have a GPS logger, merge it into a CSV file, and upload it to Wiggle. I think.
Right. So when I saw that, my immediate take on it is this feasible, and not necessarily should I do this, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it's feasible. Plus, there's also power considerations too, because if you take an alpha adapter and you want to hook it up to that alpha adapter is going to be pulling twice the power that the entire Pi Zero is pulling. So
and it will crush the USB hub, because the USB hub, anything before the Pi 4 is just crap.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So yeah, so the feasibility of it is definitely there, but I really liked your answer and setting it up as a remote node, because that's super thin client to be able to run that on, and if you're just capturing probes, that's pretty easy to do.
Here's a trick for remote capturing, is that if you want to do remote capturing, it's better to build the remote capture binary on another real Raspberry Pi 4 and then transfer the binary across to the Pi Zero.
Oh, for
then
sure.
Build the whole thing on the Pi Zero.
Yeah,
because if you build on the Pi Zero, it's going to take like 2.5 days for everything to compile. It's going to be painful. Everything. So
if you're super Linux elite, then you could just set up a build environment, cross compile.
But if you're not, then you can just grab a Pi 4 or Pi 3 or even a Pi 2 or something more than a Pi 0.
Yeah.
And run and then compile it there and then just transfer it over. It will work as long as the path, everything is set right.
So one thing that I'm thinking about as like I'm considering like a Pi 0, it's like, okay, that's probably I don't know his exact situation, but my assumption is wanting to use a Pi 0 is A, it's super compact and small, but B, the price point, right? So it's like, what could we do that would be similar situation where we have something that we could fit into like a small mint can, right? But then also we get more power out of it. Do you know of anything like that exists?
I mean, yeah, you can run it off like a ESP8266 with a GPS module. That would be the same price point. I mean, ESP8266, unless you go with like an Adafruit Feather, which even then I think it's only like $12.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go with like WeMOS Mini D1, those are like $4, I think, $4 or $5. And then all you need is like a GPS module. But there's a lot of different coding.
Yeah.
And then you're going to need an SD card add-on. And it will fit in a tin can. But at that point, I think you're better off not spending the money there and buying a used Nexus 5 phone. Right, because it has the battery, it has the app,
right?
It has GPS,
flexible wireless. It's going to cover more bands than those are.
Yeah, so all of that, right?
Yeah.
So like I use Nexus 5s for a very long time. Used, they're about $100 here at least. Not even the latest. Like, I mean, I upgraded to a Nexus 4. Not the 5G one, but Nexus 4, because I wanted to upgrade some of my gear. But that's recently. Until then, my Android phones were Nexus 5s that I picked up off, used on auction sites and used phone dealers, because I don't need a SIM in it.
Right.
I just needed to run Android and Wiggle on it, and it will run fine.
Yeah.
So,
side note, with that, without having a SIM in them, have you do you pay attention much to the towers that you pick up, the cell tower data in Wiggle?
oh yeah, there's no cell tower. I mean, I think there's limited. I know that if you have in the US, at least if you have like a specific telco SIM in it, it will only pick up that.
Right. Unless it's like, because we also have the GSM bands that are, it's like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint, and then you've got like the Verizon stuff, and so sometimes the phones will be coded to one or the other, and but even without SIMs, I've been able to pick up towers. So like my new Realme 8, I took that up the canyon, and I picked up 5 new towers that I'd never seen before. And so I was just wondering if you had seen similar things like that in
no,
Tokyo.
it will pick it up. I have like it will pick up. I'm just not confident that
you're getting all of it.
I'm getting all of it.
Right. Okay.
Because it will pick up like 5 or 6.
Right. Same.
Right. And
same.
I'm like, there's got to be more than 5 or 6 here. I mean,
right.
This is a big ass city with a shit ton of people. I think 5.
They figured out how to run cell towers, man. They got 5 cell towers covered all in Tokyo. Now, I know. I think that we're definitely missing stuff. And I think that would be a kind of cool analysis, right? Like go into Wiggle, get the cell tower data, and then go to like I forget what the open one is. It's like opencelltower.com or something like that, and like, or a cell ID, open cell ID, is that it? Anyways, and then compare those data points, right, and see what you can pick up, just so we can get some more data about where cell towers are, what's going on. It also is because like they're rolling out coverage everywhere, especially now with 5G, and so it'd be fun to really prove like what these networks are, because you go pull up a map, it's like, oh, it's completely covered, and it's like, well, why is my service garbage?
Yeah, you should definitely not run NZ Catcher. I will get you some shit real quick. But no, I think there are multiple options, right? Like I said, Wiggle is really transparent about the CVS format that they're except for upload. So it really depends. We keep coming back to this discussion where what is it that you're trying to do? In my case, it's Wiggle points. So I make the conscious decision that my main rig will not have PT or cell phone, or cell towers, and I supplement that with the 2 Nexus Pixel 4 phones that I carry.
Right.
In your case, when you're trying to do a lot of channels and you get more and more data, there's going to be a different way. But if you just want to, like, I have a small SSID collector that I built out of an Arduino that only collects open SSIDs because Wi-Fi pineapple.
It's good to have a database of those.
Right. So, and that thing is like this big. That's on a keychain that sits in my travel backpack that I just kind of walk around with. And all it does is collects open SSIDs and logs it to a file. Right.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
And then there's the M5 one scanner that scans for open Wi-Fi's and then pings Google and see if it can get out or not. So I know which one are open or not.
I like it.
So, but those don't go up to.
How does that one deal with landing pages where you have to go click like an accept or anything? Are you just not looking at those?
No, well, those are ignored. I'm trying to find 2 open ones.
Okay, well, I was wondering maybe if you detect a maybe that's a feature for the next round, right? Detect if there's a redirect on DNS, and then go through and see if it has just a check button, or if you have to log in with a password, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, I think it's one of the hotels, Marriott or something. It's just you literally just have to go check a box, and then you get access.
Yeah. So in the chat, Spike Rose said unactivated phones in the US still work for 911. True. Same for Japan, except unless there's not a SIM in it. If there's no SIM on the card or in the phone, it won't work. It's just a Wi-Fi device. It's like an iPod Touch.
And I believe here, even if it doesn't have a SIM, you can still call out.
Well, that's nice. That's very friendly.
Well, except for it creates problems because a lot of parents will give their children their old phones, pull the SIM card out, or discontinue the service, right? And the kids are playing around. Next thing they know, they're on the phone with a 911 operator. It's like, I don't know how this happened. I gave it's disconnected. It shouldn't be connected. It's like the same thing.
Daddy, why are you naked in my bed?
From the wall. Oh, jeez. Ah, jeez.
So it really depends, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that you actually do have to do is you have to go out and get it, because there's only so much you can get from your house.
Yo, totally.
Right.
Yep.
You actually have to go out, walk, bike, scooter, skateboard.
I mean, unless you live in a really tall building and lots of people, then you just got to get in the elevator, like in New York City.
Well, even here, like if you do the amount that I will keep my rig on for like 3 hours and will log like, I don't know, 20,000 devices, and there's like 20 new.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I'm an extreme case, but so if you're not sure if you're going to like this, or you need a reason to go out, get an Android phone, have an Android phone. Even like something, it doesn't even have to be a Nexus 5. I mean, I think Nexus 5s are great because they're plain vanilla Android.
Well, and even with the new Android 10, right? 10. You can go into the settings and you can crank up the ability to be able to grab things. So basically, any Android 10 phone will work with Wiggle now. So it was only Android 9 that it was borked. Yeah. So that's back. So literally any phone you have, upgrade it to Android 10 if you haven't already. And if it does, just install Wiggle, go out there and throw some points up and see what happens. Right. And
whenever somebody asks me about, things like custom rigs and shit like that, I always think about, there's so many instances where like perseverance and effort outplays technology. Right? Yep. I mean, even in our industry or even outside our industry, I was just watching a documentary about the Raramuris in Mexico. They just had a trail marathon there, and all these Western guys with full professional gear show up, and they're getting outrun by guys wearing sandals made out of tires. Like, and like at the very beginning, it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna win this race. I'm a professional. I know what to do. And the guy and the Raramuris are like, yeah, I'm a farmer. I just do this because to supplement my income. And
oh my head.
And they were getting outrun, right? And they're like, why are you guys so fast? It's like, because we run every day. And it's just part of our life. And, you look at the guys in prison who are all bulked up on shit gear. And then you look at Dave, who has this massive, very cool basement, muscle gym. And, each on his own. Like, you and I have custom rigs because we're nuts.
Yep.
But...
yeah, and I just dropped another $200 today on Amazon buying more stuff.
Right? So, I mean, yes, building a custom rig is super fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a challenge, and I enjoyed that part too. But at the same time, there are days where I just grab my phone and I'm like, I'm not gonna bother with my rig. I'm just gonna grab my phone and walk.
Yeah, and like with the Kraken, when I built the Kraken, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the perfect thing to throw in the passenger seat of the car and just drive around. And then I actually did it, and I'm like, this is not ideal, because every time I stopped, the lid would slam down, or it would fly open, or it would move. Like, the whole concept of it just for a mobile device just was not like, I didn't put it together to be like mobile like that. My idea would be just pop it open and you can see what's going on there. And then, my friend Kim, what he did is he actually mounted a laptop, like they have in squad cruiser, police cruisers and stuff. He literally bought like a laptop mount so he can just mount his stuff in the car. So he's good to
Kim's
go.
Kim's car is a war driving beast. He is the equivalent of like Storm Chasers, how they have a customized car. And I know Dragorn, Kismet Wireless, and Do Not Look, Russ.
Yeah, Russ.
They both, and so does Rick Melendick.
Yep.
They're all customizing their cars for wireless stuff, and that's that. I made a backpack, so each on its own. And I think there's a good point here is that Aramon 2001, I guess, says it's a good backup to my customer was having GPS issues, so I come from nothing. At least if I had something. Yeah, that happened to me multiple times.
Yeah, I've been there too. Or I got tons of data and there's zero location data about that.
Yeah. Right.
That's the worst because it's like,
right.
What does this even mean? Because you can't locate it back to a certain point. I mean, it's interesting to look at still, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a loss for me, but yeah, if you're trying to geolocate your data, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Spike Rose says, I've been using an old laptop with several USB drives in the backseat of my car. Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, I don't drive. I don't have a driver's license. I used to, and then I realized that driving wasn't for me after I almost killed myself 3 times.
Oof. So glad you didn't.
Like,
glad you didn't.
Nope. So, yeah, and, the technology is out there. Just go out and do it and have fun. And, there's different levels of commitment. And I think, like, when I travel, when I used to travel, I should say, because I'm not right now, but when I used to travel, I wouldn't bring anything. I have my phones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had maybe 4 Android phones with me, but I throw them, I throw them in my backpack and walk around. And
yeah. Yeah, I definitely started out with the extreme. I would travel with 2 carry-on bags that were both the Cactus, and then it would take me an hour and a half to 2 hours to reassemble it at my destination. And basically, like, my later projects now are trying to remedy that. It's like, I want to have a box that I can check that's like all secure, it has foam, like nothing's gonna break. It's got built-in screen. It's basically like a tough book, but has all the parts I want in it, right? And then I could just check that thing, or even carry it on, and then pick it up at the other end.
See, there's a midpoint there. You can hand check your luggage.
Yeah.
So when you check in at the check-in counter, said, "This is sensitive equipment. Can you hand check it?" Which means somebody will carry that thing and put it in, and it wouldn't be carry-on. It would be just regular check-in. And that depends on if you have membership status.
Yeah.
If you have membership status as an airline, you go to the airline counter and say, "Look, this is sensitive equipment, but I'm comfortable enough that you can handle this.
Yeah.
Can you hand check it?" And then they'll hand check.
Pro tip right there: get your stuff hand checked.
Well, get airline membership.
Then get platinum. Otherwise, they're gonna charge you $150 for that.
That's how I usually get to Vegas. I ask them to hand check my luggage, because then they'll take it off. They'll put it in the cargo, but somebody will bring it out, and it won't be like thrown on it. Not that, look, unlike your stuff, my stuff actually can travel internationally very easily.
Yeah.
So
well, and the thing is, you've had to do that a lot.
Yeah.
So you've definitely got the experience with it. And then I just took all my stuff and figured out how to make it work internationally because I absolutely wanted to go international with it. So.
But at the same time, there are times where I look at it and I'm like, do I bring that or do I bring 4 phones?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And usually it ends up with 4 phones is fine.
LP No Way says, or ship 5 Pelicans and put it on the P card. I thought about shipping them a bunch of times, shipping the Cactus beforehand, and it really depends on where your destination is. There's just something like nice knowing that your equipment's on the same plane that you're on.
And you have the ability to explain that you're not in a foreign state Asian. Like I think like what was it? I think Israel, for example, if you have like an SDR in your luggage,
Yeah.
that's apparently a nightmare to cross the border.
Oh, I did not know that.
Um, because apparently it's considered spy equipment. I'm sure that Lockheed has the same thing about Germany.
My probably the most difficult time I had bringing the Cactus back to the U.S. was I've never had a problem going into a country, but coming back, and it was from the Bahamas, from Nassau. It was U.S. Customs. They're like, "What is this? Did you get this from somebody down here? Like, are you? What are you trying to do with this?" They gave me the fifth degree. I had about an hour and a half of extra questioning to go through, and we ended up having to open it all up. But in the end, no issues.
Yeah, LP says, I literally sent SDRs to Israel last week. It was very difficult to customize that. Yeah, no, I understand. Apparently, they're really wary of SDRs.
Is it due to the regulation of them being able to transmit and that they're not regulated with their radio body, or is it more that they know what these devices are capable of and they're afraid of them getting in the hands? It's kind of like lockpicks, right? Like, are they afraid that lockpicks are getting in the hands of criminals, right? Is that more the thought?
I think it's a little bit both, but I think from my understanding, and if anybody knows, then point me out differently. I think it's more of the fact that it can be used for both receiving and transmitting sensitive material.
Gotcha.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So LP says the second. Lots of paperwork to track the devices in country. See.
Yeah, I've always been a little naive as I've traveled internationally and not done too many looks into the laws.
Radio laws in Japan, for example, forbid any radio that hasn't gone through the technical certification by the Japanese government. What's it? Not FDA, FCA, FCA, the governing body for frequencies in the U.S.
Oh, in the U.S. is the FCC.
Yeah. FCC, yeah, right. There's a similar body in the Ministry of General Admin in Japan that has certified every radio. So every Wi-Fi device has to be certified to be allowed to be used in country.
Yeah.
There was a big problem with the HackRF, for example, that when we were holding at Code Blue, we had a CTF, and one of the guys was using a HackRF, and other people were complaining that that device is not certified for use within Japan. But even like the Wi-Fi Cactus technically has to go through a certification, but there is a not a loophole, but there's a clause around it that if the operator is a visiting foreigner, he has 90 days.
90 days to come into compliance?
Well, no, he has 90 days to operate it, and which is the same as the visa. So you have a 90 days tourist visa. Because what you're going to end up is people coming here with their own cell phones,
right,
which are not certified, and using it, right? So they had to have a clause in it.
Yeah.
So you can bring radio equipment in if you're the operator. Then you have 90 days to operate it. If you're going to stay beyond that, then you need to get it certified.
Gotcha.
Not that everybody does that.
And it's pretty hard to track.
Yeah. Right.
So,
but like you can't sell it, for example.
Right.
But there's a lot of like questionable adapters that are coming from China.
Why does that not surprise me?
Or sold on Amazon. The Wi-Fi Cactus clause. Yes. I think that's exactly the legal term.
I like that hashtag. We should put that in the show notes.
Right.
Added.
So there's there's always when you travel with radio, make sure you just not be a dick about it.
Well, and I have a fun story. So when I went to China to Beijing for the DEF CON beta, I showed up over there and I'm walking around with the Cactus, no big deal, whatever. And I go crash my buddy's software-defined radio course that he's teaching there. And literally, as I'm walking in, he's talking about the applicable laws for the CCP. And it's like, you are not allowed to do anything as a foreigner in China with radio, basically, was my takeaway. And I got really nervous really fast because I was
you know,
like,
all the attendees were people from the government.
So yeah. And back up by Lozaning said, I used to commute between Palm Springs and Mountain View every week. SFO security never blinked to 12 phones, 3 laptops. PSP always a nightmare. Also have another funny story that's similar in nature to that. When I was at the Luxor in Las Vegas, staying there for Black Hat, and I had the Cactus there. They came in and they were like looking through my room, and because they had seen me with the Cactus walking through, and this is prior to the shootings. This was the year before the big shooting happened down there, and somehow someone had reported that they need to check my stuff out. So
there's
they
a
locked
dude
my
walking
room
around
out.
with
Yeah.
tennis.
They locked me out of my room because I had actually taken the Cactus over to the Black Hat. From the Luxor, walked it over to Mandalay Bay, and so they locked my room out. And so I get down, and like security escorted me up, and they started going through my room, and they're like, okay, what's this and this? Because I had a little stack of Tetras about this tall, and that's what they were like really worried about. They're like, could this bomb or something? And basically,
it's the
like,
bomb, yo.
yeah, it's just some Tetras, not a big deal, whatever. But then the security guard was like, saw my Xbox 360 controller that I had on the thing, and he's like, "Oh, you're a gamer. You're cool. You're not doing anything weird."
You don't know how to make a bomb.
But apparently, like at the Luxor, what would happen is people, especially on the side that I would stay on, they'd bring crazy antenna equipment because they would start tracking the Janet flights out of whatchamacallit, McCarran. And or just do some weird stuff. And so there has been some reports, and so they were like really hardline about bringing in antennas and stuff because of issues with that they had tests. So
I remember DEFCON 20, 19. Sometimes somebody built this massive rifle that had a bunch of SDRs on it.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was just kind of walking around. That would never happen now since the Vegas shooting.
Right.
Because it looked like a machine gun.
Right.
But it had like a bunch of antennas stuck on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that was used for. I feel like it was used with like either it was picking up Bluetooth or doing like forced Bluetooth syncs or something like that.
Well, there were a couple ways. There was I remember a rifle light that had a bunch of adapters on it.
Yeah.
And I also remember the long range Bluetooth rifle.
Right.
Which could, like, I guess, receive or snoop on Bluetooth traffic, like.
And I think they were doing something to like pull contacts, like so it was like requesting your phone, and then you could pull contacts off people's phones.
Right.
What I remember, I don't know. It's been
also I also think the sniper. I think the Bluetooth sniper rifle is what it was called. Yeah, the smurfing rifle thing. Yeah, that thing. So. But yeah, gun form is probably not a good idea these days.
Yeah, it's probably frowned upon a little bit.
Unless you're a good old boy and a MAGA hat, I think you're good.
Dude, all you got to do is just put an orange tip on it. You'll be all right. Okay, speaking of guns, hold on. Can I talk about my experience in Japan in Halloween with guns? Sure. Okay, so it blew my mind. In Halloween, I was in Japan visiting with Kontaro. I was in Shibuya. And as I'm walking around on Halloween, and it's like 9 o'clock at night, there are all these people running around with, it looked like ARs and guns, and I was like, what the hell? I'm like, Kataro, dude, what is happening here? How do these people have these weapons? And they're actually one of your hobbies.
This is my Airsoft sniper rifle. No fucking orange tip on it.
Isn't that wild? No orange tips in Japan. And why is that?
We don't have real guns.
Yeah, they don't have real guns, so they can go ahead and run around in public with fake guns all they
Yeah,
want.
I mean,
And like people, they're like pointing them at people and stuff. And then like I saw plenty of cops, and they didn't care. It just blew my mind because it's like that would spark crazy hysteria, especially for how many people were out in Shibuya at that time. It was like hundreds of thousands of people. I feel like
it's like the tweet MP5.
I think our stream just got flagged for inappropriate.
Probably. Like this is a Beretta 92F, right?
Yeah.
This is by Tokyo Marine. What Tokyo Marine went and did is they bought the license for this gun.
Oh wow.
And the dimensions and the weights are exactly like the real 92.
That's crazy. The only thing it's missing is a firing pin.
The only thing it's missing is the ability to shoot real guns. I mean, the tip is kind of small, so. Real small bullets, I guess. But yeah, this is gonna get flagged as inappropriate and whatnot. Especially when I upload it to YouTube, they'll be like, "Oh, you can't show guns pointing at the camera." How are you fucking nuts?
We just need to get some secondary sponsors so that way we can go ahead and have our airsoft guns. Yeah, cool. That really blew my mind. I didn't know that. So crazy.
Right. So
it's a toy review channel.
It's a toy review channel. Yes. I would definitely. I mean,
I talk about Pokemon enough.
We're talking about Pokemon and rigs and airsoft guns. I mean, we are literally like a toy review channel. If you have any cool toys you want us to review, send us to this address down below.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell.
Subscribe. It'll be a toy reviews in hot tubs kind of channel.
2 guys, a hot tub, and toys.
Yes. That totally sounds appropriate.
Oh my damn. All right.
We got to do some plugs this week.
Hold on, wait real quick. Did we cover custom rig stuff pretty well?
Yeah, unless anybody has questions in the chat.
One thing too. I really want to find a multi PCIe main motherboard, like a micro ITX that has like 2.2s and like 4 PCI Express.
Oh, that's like you asking.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was like, where is that in chat?
No, that's me. That's me asking. If anybody knows of some dope little boards. I actually have this board. I don't even know where it came from, but it's got an integrated AMD Ryzen CPU GPU combo. I think it came out of an all-in-one HP, like an all-in-one PC. And so I was getting it all going, powered it up, its posts and stuff. I was able to hook it up because it's got DisplayPort. And then I'm like, oh, I just need to plug in a USB, and there's no USB cables, ports on it anywhere. So I think my hardware hack for this week, if I get some extra time, might be figuring out the pins and then like soldering on my own USB port directly to the USB chip. It's got a VLI, via USB 3.2 chip on it. So I don't know. I might be able to demonstrate a little bit of that next week. But anyways, I'm looking for lots of PCI Express access in a motherboard that's tiny. So if anybody knows of that.
Oh yeah, tiny is a big issue.
Yeah.
I think if you look into like the crypto mining boards, there might be multiple ones.
Yeah, the problem though is they're still big.
Yeah.
They're all like ATX form factor. That's actually what I used for the Kraken was a crypto board. So.
I have like, and I just purely bought this used because I thought it was weird. That had like 8 GPU slots and like a Celeron onboard chip. It's like this board. It's purely a crypto mining board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna fuck with. I'm probably not gonna use it, but just like I just wanted to look at the weird stuff. So anyway, no plugs. We have a very important
plug. We got
this
plugs.
This weekend, Circle City Con. See, if you knew, I've been wearing my Circle City Con for last year. Cap.
Wait, you got a cap? Why didn't I get a cap?
No, I didn't get it. I bought it, goddamn.
Why didn't I buy it?
God, you suck.
Okay, if you see a link of cool shit to buy, would you please like hit me up on Twitter and I'll buy it?
It's
Because
awesome. It's
their logo is
embroidered.
dope. I love
No,
Circle
this-
City Con. Shout out to all the Circle City folks,
Yeah,
especially
this is
you,
last year's,
DNS
right?
Princess.
Yes, and so it's happening this weekend. Circle City Con 8, happy little conference. I think last year was like Doomsday Apocalypse or something.
Yeah, it was.
So now
of
it's
days.
the survivors of the Doomsday Apocalypse are now having a happy little conference. So that's how I interpreted it.
It seems correct. I went 2
Right?
years ago and I absolutely had just the most
Yeah.
wonderful time. The people, everything. Like, I cannot wait for that one to be back in person. I will be there. I attended virtually last year. That was awesome. The Discord was dope. I'm still in the Discord to this day.
Yep.
So
Same.
yeah, fantastic community over there at
So
Circle.
right, from Friday to Sunday, Circle City Con. Go check them out on their Twitter and their website. See, and thanks to DNS Princess, we are giving away 3 tickets.
333 coming at you.
Tickets. 3 tickets to the con.
All you
these
have
are
to
full
do
tickets.
is
Well, here's the thing. You need to have a Discord username because they're going to run it on Discord, right?
Right.
So you have to.
And it
have
was
a
very
Discord.
successfully ran last year on
Right.
Discord.
Right. It's very, and it was very. It was also very. There wasn't a lot of drama. It was nice.
Yeah, it's
know,
very
there wasn't-
fluid.
Yeah, it was, and so here's what you have to do. We will be giving away. Did I say 3? Yes, I said 3 tickets.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, come on down. But because we're shameless, you're gonna have to tweet out on Twitter the URL for Dark Matter, this Twitch stream, and with the hashtag shameless plug. Right? Here, let me reiterate. Tweet out the link to this Twitch stream with the hashtag shameless plug. And then because it starts Friday, Thursday, me and Mike or Dark Matter will go through and pick a random 3 winners. We'll contact you
Via Twitter.
So keep your DMs open for me or let us know. And then we'll get you in for Circle City Con. This is thanks to DNS Princess. Awesome. She's an awesome person. She's a very awesome person.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Right. So yeah. We hope to see you there. I'll be on the Discord. Dark Matter's on the Discord.
Yep, I'll be there.
Right. So that's one. And then number 2, I think. Noseling already tweeted out. Shameless plug.
We already have our first contestant.
We already have our first entry. Very good. Very good job. Very good job.
Maybe we should post something about this so that more people know what's going on.
Well, no, this is for people who watch
for the stream. All right, word.
Right.
Word. Agreed. Thank you, everyone who watches the stream. Love you.
Once again, we are piggybacking off people wanting to go to Circle City to shamelessly plug our stream, right? So that's one thing. Second thing that I want to talk about is hacking is not a crime. The Twitter channel or the Twitter feed.
I did not know this.
They have a new Instagram.
I did not know this.
No, they just started like last week.
It doesn't matter. I didn't know this.
Yes.
I
So
am literally signing up right now to follow them.
Right. So go to Instagram.com. Hack is not crime. It's the yearly account. Check it out.
It's already like I already have like 9 people, 10 people that I have in common that I follow on it.
Yes.
Here it is. Go get it.
Always awesome because it is not a crime. Did you see that? Did you see that? Like Wicker stopped using hackers as criminals. They just started calling them cyber criminals.
Oh.
Because one time they tweeted out like, "Oh, can hackers snoop into your comms or something?" And I pointed out like, "I think you misspelled criminals." And then a whole bunch of people jumped on the bandwagon. And like now they're using cyber criminal instead of hackers, which I think is a step forward.
Yeah.
And I know people don't care. I do. Okay.
It's been an uphill battle since like the beginning, right? It's just so easy to say hackers, and it conjures up this really scary image in normal people's minds, right?
Okay, this is a tangent, but it's like
it's a valuable tangent.
But it's relative, right? I mean, you go to life hacker is like a good thing.
Yeah.
Growth hacker is a good thing.
Right.
Hacker alone is either good or bad. It's like Schrodinger's criminal.
It's Schrodinger's criminal. It's both illegal and legal at the same time.
So, and I think that's just stupid.
Well, and the other thing too, it's like the thing that's really okay. This is going to be the part of the segment where it's like this is the stuff that triggers me. The thing that triggers me this week over the last like month. You had the pipeline that was hackers. You had the meat that was hackers. Guess what? That shit was a hackers. That stuff was not technical. They wrote a script that encrypted people's files using built-in tools inside of Windows, and they didn't exploit any like major bugs. They were all stuff that's been out and known that had patches. Like there was no magic to there. All right, I let that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like that is not hacking. That's
and like,
that is absolutely
criminals are way more cost efficient, cost wary than hackers are.
Right.
Because from a criminal, spending 12 hours developing a 0-day or an exploit is not worth their time or money.
Yep.
Right.
Everything is in a legal superposition until you get caught.
Well, it depends on the country. In Japan, it's all illegal until they tell you it's legal. So.
Wait, it's always illegal until they tell you it's legal? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's the default settings of the Japanese law.
Screw that.
Right. Anyway,
how did you let me stand outside with the cactus on then?
Because you're a foreigner. The Wi-Fi Cactus clause.
Gaijin, I'll be all right.
No, the Wi-Fi Cactus clause. The law does not apply. Right. So anyway. That's it. Always wiggle like you mean it. Kismet rocks.
Kismet totally rocks. Wiggle totally rocks. Shout out to both of them.
Both of them.
Shout out to our awesome followers. Love you guys for sticking around with us.
We're off next week because I actually have a job next week.
Yeah, and I got to get my project done for Black Hat because they emailed me and are like, because I opted for the virtual and in-person option. And so they're like, we need you to do an hour-long video of your presentation and have it submitted soonish. And I was like, didn't intend to do that. I thought I was just going to be able to like do it live and then have it streamed while I'm doing it live.
Oh, you mean the Bill O'Reilly radio?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Yeah, no, I see it. So yeah, we're off next week. We'll be back on the 23rd.
Yep.
All right.
Check my calendar.
I don't know. I'm good on the 23rd.
I think I am too. I think I should be good. Triple, quadruple check. Wait, it's 22nd for me. See, you're trying to mess me up.
Well, okay, the 22nd for you, 23rd for me.
Mr. in the future. Yeah, that's totally fine. 22nd, we will be back.
All right.
And I just figured out how to update my calendar and stuff inside of Twitch so you could see that. And also I figured out how to set time till next stream. So that might show up if you visit my stream channel. So I'm leveling up my streaming game.
Right. Which brings up one more time. If you want to win tickets to Circle CityCon, even if you don't want to win tickets to Circle CityCon, tweet out the link to this Twitch stream with the hashtag shameless plug.
Oh man.
So
all right, my brother.
All right.
It's always great seeing your face. I miss you, man. Can't wait to hang out.
Thanks for everybody tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Had a great time.
Multiple entries allowed.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't give a fuck.
But you can only one ticket. Are we doing one ticket? Or are we giving away multiples to one person? How's that working? What's the rules here? Are we gonna get sued?
Yeah, it'll be one person. No, here, one account, one ticket. So if you have 20 bot accounts and we pick 2 of them, then you end up with 2 tickets.
There you go.
But if we find you selling it, we will ban you from the internet. Not only Twitch, not only Twitter. We will ban you from the internet.
And that is a ban you do not want from El Kitaro.
No more internets for you. Relax, Gringo. I'm legal. Best bribe. No bribing. But here, LP, just continuously tweet it out until Thursday. Like multiple entries fine. You can write a script that posts every hour. I don't care. This is a whole big shameless plug. So.
Tweepy is good for this.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. Maybe on the 22nd we should give something away also.
Yeah, okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
We'll figure that out.
Maybe some stickers?
Be right back, being banned from Twitter. I love you guys so much. I love you so much. I love your faces. You guys are amazing.
Yes.
Guitar, dude, I love you too, man. I miss
right.
you. I'll see you soon, my friend.
Same.
Have a good
See
2
you back.
weeks. Peace.